rules and follow them just as I give them to you. Remember, too, that success in the higher brackets of achievement is something that can be had only by taking others along with you. And the best definition of success, which I know, is this. Success is the knowledge with which to get whatever you want from life without violating the rights of others and by helping others to acquire it. There is a known formula for the attainment of success, and it is as definite and certain as are the rules of mathematics or the principles of science. My purpose in these visits is to bring you that formula in simple terms that you can understand and apply. But I can never give you that for which you are not ready. If you are ready to advance into the higher brackets of success, you will recognize this fact by your willingness to follow the simple instructions I shall give you as we go along. If Kate Smith had not been ready for success when she formed the Mastermind Alliance with Ted Collins, he couldn't have brought her success. This thing called success is a very profound and interesting thing because the line of demarcation between success and failure is so slight that it is often hard to tell where one ends and the other begins. For example, in my association with the late Henry Ford, I recognized that he had thousands of people working for him who had much more education than he, more magnetic personalities, more ability to make friends, and a much better chance of succeeding than Mr. Ford had when he was working for wages. But Mr. Ford had one simple quality the others who worked for him did not possess. The same quality I will clearly describe for you in my future visits with you. Meanwhile, I would be interested in knowing if you can describe this one simple quality Henry Ford possessed, which made him the greatest industrialist this nation has ever produced. In my next visit, I will give you a definite clue as to the success quality which helped Henry Ford spread his influence throughout the world and make himself richer than Croesus, despite the fact that he had only a meager common school education. Until then, please be of good cheer, will you? And just remember that your only real limitation is the one you accept and set up in your own mind. Well, this, our third visit, brings us to the success principle, which has marked the turning point of every person who has promoted himself or herself from the lower brackets of success to the higher planes of achievement, where one acquires everything he desires. This principle is called the habit of going the extra mile, which means the habit of rendering more service and better service than one is expected to render, and doing it in a positive mental attitude. I'm going to tell you all I know about this magic principle of self-advancement, because it is the one rule you must follow if you expect to write your own price tag and to be sure of getting it. Let me describe this success principle for you in a brief formula which you can easily remember. I call it the QQMA formula, which means the quality of service you render plus the quantity of service you render plus the mental attitude in which you render service determines the space you occupy in your chosen calling and the compensation you get from your services. If you will examine carefully the people whom you know to be unusually successful, you will discover that they follow the QQMA formula, although they may do so unconsciously. Now, I wish to give you a big advantage over those who follow this formula unconsciously. I wish to show you how to make use of it deliberately with purpose of forethought, so you may make the principle pay off in a big way and do it quickly. Now I shall tell you some of the...
I got around my billionaire buddies. I was more like, it's cool to come over your house, but I need a house like this. Yeah. It's cool to ride on your yacht, but I need a yacht like this. Yeah. It's cool to ride on your jet, but I want a jet like that. And I said, no, I don't want to ride on yours. You show me how to get it. You can't be my friend if you can't show me how to get it. Because once they show me how to get it, then I can install it in my children. Then it goes bloodline down.
It's a bloodline thing.
Yes. So it's about wealth. You know, I'm no longer rich, I'm wealthy.
Oh, he's changed. Of course he's changed. His life's changed. You know, his responsibilities changed. His business has changed. You can't expect him to say the same people. And, you know, when you have a group of friends, when you all come out of school and sort of you're going from there and you're talking every day, and the ones that sort of grow, the friendships are still as strong, but you just don't talk to each other every week, every day. Because you've got your own lives, you've got your own vision, you've got your own plans, and you get on better than ever. And it's the ones that say, oh, he's not, no, he don't talk to us anymore. I ain't got time, mate. But this goes back to the sacrifices. You know, if I fall out with friends because of what I'm trying to achieve in my own personal life and my business, so be it. I know, again, that sounds, you know, and it's not about being a bad friend or a bad person.
The road to the bag is definitely tied to your team and the company that you keep. If you are surrounding yourself with different energies that's not on the same wavelength as you, if they not praying for you, inspiring you, supporting you, or showing you a better way, remove them immediately.
People's opinion of you is none of your business, nor should you make it yours. You get in a lot of trouble worrying about what somebody think about you, when really, what difference do it make? Whether they wrong or right, and what difference do it make? The majority of people who have a negative viewpoint of you really don't even know you.
I'll tell you about me, one of my secrets to my success. I don't worry about what nobody's doing. All y'all that's out there on the internet that worry about what people's doing, don't waste your time on time that you could be putting towards yourself. Positive attracts positive, negative attracts negative. I'm gonna keep on rising, you know, because I believe. And I'm a hustler. Shout out to all.
Okay. What difference do it make? The majority of people who have a negative viewpoint of you really don't even know you.
Let's go. Can you hear me clearly? Everyone should be able to hear me clearly, hopefully, possibly, maybe. Can you all hear me clearly?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Fantastic. Guys, let me give some love for you guys for giving up your evening to come down to the session, all right? So literally, like I said to you, I said a bit earlier, this isn't going to be slides. It's not going to be, cheesy punchlines. There is no end goal in regards to, getting you guys to pay X or anything like that. This is simply about sharing some information with you guys, all right? And talking to you about, let me introduce myself first for the people that don't know me. My name is JP Skeete, and I am the founder of an empowerment organization, all right, called Unity to Be Free, formerly Unity Finance Group, and now it's called Unity to Be Free, all right? And it's self-explanatory, all right? Unity to be free. There's somebody that still don't get it, yeah? Guys, feel free to put your cameras on as well, all right? Because like I said, it's going to be a conversation. We're going to get some participation. We're going to get people asking questions. This session was actually spurred by one of our members, one of our treasured members, Sister Abana, okay, who asked me to do a session in regards to property and bits and pieces, and I said, no problem, we'll do it. And we just opened it up at last minute to different people. So guys, feel free right now, if you look in the chat, there is a link direct to this session. I know that you guys might have signed in, etc., and registered, but that's a direct link straight through to the session. Who's going to unmute their cameras first? Who's gonna show me what they're saying? Who's brave enough to unmute their cameras? All right, there you go. Hello, sister. Lovely to see you. Okay, lovely to see you. It's nice when we can see other people. All right, so we can see people in their habitat and see people taking in the information. All right, let's get started. I'm going to respect your time. I'm trying to get this wrapped up by 9 o'clock. All right, trying to get finished by 9. Even before would be nicer. Yeah, it's okay. Little Mac can come in the camera. Don't worry about that, Tanika. My little Mac could bust in here any moment. Yeah, with Nerf guns and all types of other stuff might be happening. How you doing there, Eyes? How you doing there, sister Brenda? So I'm going to send a shout out to everybody who's on the call right now. All right, respect JT, Noel, Alan, Marcia, Dre himself, Clinton Heron, Danny D, Nick Parrott, Nail, Big Tony from the East Side. We got Richard, Danny, Gil, we've got Luke Charlery on the call himself, Amanda Smith, we've got guest, we've got Shakira Fontaine. Now, guys, let's get straight into it. My name is JP Skeete, and what qualifies me, what we're talking about today is we're talking about property, and we want to get to the point of having a conversation about how to capitalize on something that's going on and something that's going to be happening in the looming future. We've got a member on the call right now, Alan. I believe that's him, Alan St. Louis. I believe that's him. All right. He is the fundamentalist.
It's me, but I've got my my missus is doing a Zumba class, so I have to turn my mic off.
No problem, it's all good. But once I'm from time, I know you're there, it's all love. All right. Now, Alan is a fundamentalist. Alan's somebody who, is really deep into fundamental news and understanding what's going on in the world. And has anybody heard the word recession? Anybody heard this word looming that we might be going into a recession? Yeah. So we're going to be talking about recession. We're going to be talking about the looming things that could be happening in the future that could, and how we can take advantage of that. Yeah, and what the opportunities are. And let me introduce myself. Like I said, my name is JP Skeete, and what qualifies me to talk to you guys about property? That's the first thing. Because if you do know about Unity, we trade the financial markets. I'm an animal of a trader, if I say so myself. Okay, and I'm part of this family, and we love each other. We want to share information. We want to grow. We want to empower each other just from being, together, being around each other. All right. Some people go to the pub and sit down and knock glasses together. We wake up every single morning in the Breakfast Club from 7 to 9 every morning. We meet up in Canary Wharf. We talk through the day. We share experiences. We share information, and we try and grow as people. All right. Because, you don't know what you don't know. Something I used to say a long time ago, but it's the truth. You don't know what you don't know. All right. Now, what qualifies me to talk to you about property is that I have been doing property for probably the last 20 years. Okay. It sounds horrible when I say it out loud. It sounds like I'm old and hard back. All right. However, I have been doing property for the last 20 years. Okay. It's my core business. All right. And the finance stuff I do alongside it. All right. Now, how I started in my journey of doing property was simply like this. I had a different business before. I've always run my own businesses. I've always tried to do it for myself from when I was 18 and 17 probably. All right. And it came to a point whereby in my first business, I was burning a lot of money. I burned cash, burnt it. When I look back at the business, I think, oh my God, why did I do that? We had offices in Brick Lane, all right, and there's something called the Old Truman Brewery. If anyone knows what the Old Truman Brewery is, we had offices in there, and we had a team. We made a van, we had a street team, and it came to a point where I made lots of mistakes, me and my business partner, and we spent a lot of money. Okay, and he sat down. And I said, what do I really want to do? What is out there, for me to do? And I always wanted to get into property. You always hear how sexy property is. That's probably why a lot of people here are on the call and listening today. Because you want to get into property because you heard it's sexy and you hear people talking about it on Instagram and, flipping properties and doing this and doing that. And I've got a portfolio and etc. Let me tell you something. It is an amazing business to be in, or industry to be in, because it's not going anywhere. All right? Property is not going anywhere. You guys are always going to need somewhere to live. And whether you own or you rent, people are always going to require somewhere to live. All right. Now, in regards to this session, we're going to be talking about this event that's happening, this phenomenon that's happening, this situation. The situation I'm talking about, guys, is this looming recession. All right. There is a looming recession coming forward, and a lot of people might be concerned about this. We've all seen energy prices. All right. Alan informed us this week that energy prices will probably triple by September. Sounds horrible. Yeah, I know someone's turning off the lights right now. All right. Somebody is definitely telling the kids to come off the PlayStation. Yeah. And, because energy prices, they're saying will triple. The cost of living has gone through the roof, and it will continue to do so. There are many macroeconomic and other factors that is the reason why things are happening in the world right now, but we know about a few of them. Who can tell me about a few of them? Who can tell me about a few things that's happening in the world right now, which is, affecting people, it's going to affect you straight in the pocket? Let's go. Let's get some participation. I'll tell you, it's not a normal call. I'm not just going to talk at you guys.
Who could tell me about a few things that's happening?
War.
War. There's definitely a war that's going on in Europe. And people think to themselves, well, it ain't got nothing to do with me. Yeah, I know a lot of people was like, well, Ukraine and war, it's nothing to do with me. Let me tell you something. It's got something to do with you. All right? It's affecting you. It's affecting supply. It's affecting the supply of energy. It's affecting different things in the money markets. And ultimately, we are feeling it. What else? Let's go. We're going to keep it snappy, keep it moving. What other things are happening?
The interest rates, Bank of England.
Interest rates are getting put up. Guys, let me tell you something. Inflation is crazy. You don't understand what inflation is. Prices are going up and up and up and up and up. All right. And to curb that, a way in which the government sees a fiscal measure that they use is by increasing interest rates. But if you increase interest rates, guys, what happens to people who have borrowed anything? What happens for people that have borrowed anything, borrowed money, have a mortgage? What happens if the interest rates go up? It gets more expensive. It gets more expensive. Okay? Yes, for the savers, if you've got money in the bank, you may be getting a little bit more interest, but believe me, it's not comparable to if you're people that are on variable mortgages, yeah, or their mortgage is just coming off. I was speaking to a friend the other day, and he said to me, his mortgage is going to a variable rate. He doesn't know what to do. He's trying to work out some ways, because if your interest rates go up in your mortgage, especially if you're living on a tight budget, it can affect you quite dramatically. All right. So yeah, there's multiple factors. We can go into a lot of other things that happen in the Brexit situation was happening with Prime Minister walked, Boris did debate, all right, etc. There's all type of things happening in the world right now, which is creating a storm. All right. And this recession that may hit is going to, unfortunately, guys, hurt a lot of people. All right. And what I mean by that is that there are going to be some people who are going to lose their homes, some people that are going to lose their jobs. There'll be some people that are going to be living on the breadline, on rice and butter. Yeah. Big up all the people that used to have rice and butter once upon a time. Yes. Yeah. On rice and butter. Someone's looking at me like, no. Yeah. Rice and butter once upon a time. All right. It's going to be hard for a lot of people, but you guys are on this call today because I want to say that we can take advantage of this opportunity. Because in every adversity there comes opportunity. All right. Now the opportunity is this. Unfortunately, some people are not going to want to live in their home anymore. They're going to turn around and say, you know what? I think I need to sell. Yeah. Some people are going to need to sell their home. Some people are going to be going into negative equity. All right. Some people are going to be looking just to have a better quality of life because maybe they've lost their job. They know they're going to lose their job. The expenses are getting, to a point. And unfortunately, guys, regardless of how people feel about this, all right, is that the bank are going to want their money, hell or high water. They're going to want their money, all right? And what you can do is you can position yourself so you can assist people who may need to sell their property quickly, okay? Now, these are people that, it's not just people that are find themselves in financial difficulty as well. We're talking about something at a term, and we're going to start taking some notes down now, all right? So the notes we're going to turn on and we're going to take down first and foremost is this. The whole point about this session is I want to inspire some people here to decide that they're going to take a chance and trying to set up a business whereby they can source and secure discounted property deals. Put that down. Discounted property deals. Another word for this is something called abbreviation BMV. Does anyone know what BMV stands for? I know someone does on this call, so I know they're a property person. BMV, what does it stand for? Below market value. Below market value is the buzzword people love to hear that. Let me tell you something, I want everything below market value. I'm trying to get Nike Air Force Ones below the market value. If I go to my local Caribbean shop, I need the rice and peas below market value. Listen, I need everything cheap. But let me ask you guys a really, really good question. Here we go. If estate agents work for the sellers of houses, who works for the buyers? Who works for you if you was going to go and buy a house to get you the best possible price? Because estate agents work for the sellers. The answer is nobody works for you. Nobody don't work for you. You're going to come there, you're going to pay whatever the estate agent decided to consult and sit down with a vendor and say, well, we think your house there, Tanika, is worth 250,000. And you go, oh, is it? I thought it was only 230. You go, no, 250. Because it's 250 all day, we'll put it in the window at 240, we'll put it at 250, we might even get 260, we'll push it up, who knows? And then Tanika's over the moon. But who works for the buyer? Nobody. Therefore, what we must do is we must work for ourselves. Okay? Because an estate agent, let's think about an estate agent, they get money for old rope. They're just a shop. A couple guys, normally young, normally drive, smart cars, all right? And because they've got a brand and because they've got a shop, people come to them and say, I'd like to sell my house, okay? Now, what is stopping somebody coming to you and saying to you, Brenda, I'd like to sell my house. Can you help me? I need to sell this house within the next month or so. I don't want to go for an estate agent. He's going to come around, he's going to take pictures, he's going to put it up, he's going to have to do viewings. My house is a mess. Or I need to travel back home. I need to go back to Dominica real quick because there's some things going on. I need to sell up. Or I've got my eye on a dream property out on the coast, all right? And, they are not going to wait for me to sell my house. I need to go and purchase that house ASAP. Well, I found myself in a situation whereby I do have some financial difficulties. I've got some equity in the house, but I need to sell it quickly. I ain't got time to go through the process of XYZ. Or I'm a hoarder. My house is a mess. Yeah? And I just don't want people coming into my house and pointing out every indiscretion, pointing out, the cracks in the wall and saying, oh, look at this and look at that. I just don't want to deal with that. I've got enough equity in the house that, I just want to get rid. These people are called, somebody tell me what these people are called. It starts with an M. Does anybody know what these people, these types of people, these different demographics, different categories of people, I'm talking about what they're called? They are called motivated sellers. They are called sellers who are motivated to sell their property quickly. Now, in the 20 years of me doing property, the biggest deal I've done was 60% below the market value. 60. All right? Now, somebody's saying, oh, this is crazy. Why would somebody sell you their house for less than it's worth? Well, let's stop thinking about it like a house. Let's think about it like it's absolutely anything. Let's think about it like it's Izzy's beautiful gold ring, and she needs some money real quickly because she wants to go on holiday, and all her friends are going on holiday by the end of the week, but she needs some money for spending money. And she walks into her local Caribbean shop, and she says, listen, guys, I've got this 24-karat gold ring, and it's worth £1,000. However, if somebody can give me £700 for it right now, they can have it. All right, and someone goes, what? Goes and looks at the ring, looks at the hallmark, and Ice gets £700 for her £1,000 ring. It's the exact same principle that people that are motivated to sell their property quickly will sell for a discount if they can. All right, if they can. Now, the reason why I said if they can is because of what reason? Who can think a reason why somebody might not be able to sell their house that's worth 100K? We're going to use a nice round number. Sell their house for, let's say, 90K, or let's say 85, 15% below the market value. What's the reason why maybe they're not able to do that? Who knows a reason why maybe someone couldn't sell their house for £15,000 or 15% in this instance, less than what it's worth? I want you to drop these things down because a lot of these things, like I said to you, everything I want to say to you today, nothing is brain surgery, believe me. All right, but you don't know what you don't know. And if you just hear me talk about it, by the end of the session, it will go outside your head. By the end of this session, you guys should be able to have a plan to say, these are the things that I'm going to try and do. And I'm going to try this. Because let me tell you something. If you can do this well, you should be making, if you follow the blueprint that I'm going to give you, you should be making at least £5,000 to £10,000 on every single deal that you do. All right, and that means if you do one deal in a year, or one deal in 3 months, or one deal a month, it's probably making more money than you make from working 9 to 5 for somebody else. Okay, but it does take preparation, it does take setup. Yeah, but I want to change the mindset in this call for people to be able to say, okay, is this possible? Is this guy really telling me this is possible? And what could I try this? That's all I want to inspire today. Could I try this? Is this something that I could set up and passively this could assist me to go and do certain things? All right. So let's get back to the agenda. We talk about motivated sellers. All right. Now, let's ask a question. Where do you think you might be able to find motivated sellers? Give me some feedback. Come, let's go. Give me some energy. Where do you think we'd be able to possibly find people who might want to sell their property quickly? Anybody can give me anything. There's no wrong answers as well, guys. There's no wrong answers. Don't be shy, because you lot in the morning, you're not shy. Everyone's got something to say. So let's go. Don't be shy. Anywhere. Anywhere. Let me tell you something, guys. People are willing to sell their property, or there's people that have reasons to sell their property absolutely anywhere and everywhere. Your local pub, your church. How many people's in your church every Sunday? I don't know. 200, 300, 400. I don't know. Someone needs to sell their home. All right. What about at football on the weekend? Yeah, when you go to football, someone said something. Who's that?
At a 9 night.
At a 9 night. Well, a 9 night's a strong one, definitely. Well, at a 9 night. Anywhere. The point is this, guys. The issue is that if you wanted to sell your property right now, Marcia or Neo or Nick, the first thing that jumps into your mind is you need to go see the estate agent on Monday. So the thing is this, you have to position yourself whereby people know that you can purchase their property quickly. That's the first thing. Let me tell you something. Forget about your friends and family and people that you know. They're probably not even the best people anyway. Yeah, you know, friends and family, they always want to go, what, Tanika's selling houses now, buying houses, really? But I saw her at the bus stop the other day. Yeah, and they're going to have a problem. All right? So what you want to do first, someone's got their mic on, mute it unless you've got something to say. All right? So what you have to do is you have to position yourself so that you have you are presented as somebody who can acquire properties quickly. In this industry, it's normally called cash buyers. Yeah, you want to position yourself to be a cash buyer of property. Now, it sounds weird, and it's just about psychology. If you buy a property via mortgage, you buy a property via, you've got cash under the bed. It's all cash. It's all cash. But the term cash buyer is talking about speed. The only reason someone's going to sell you their property quickly, the only reason Ice was able to sell her ring at the Caribbean shop there and then for £700, the only reason she did that is because of speed. If that person said, yeah, listen, I'm going to take the ring, I'm going to pay you back, 3 weeks on Thursday, and no. It's £700 now, today. So the term cash buyer turns you into somebody who, it says to somebody who's selling their property that you can move quickly, because if anybody here who's bought or sold a property, when you're buying via a mortgage, you are not in control of that sale or that purchase. You have to go and see the property. Now you're happy. Now you need to go to a mortgage lender. They need to check to see if you've got good credit. Then you need to make sure that you've got a deposit. Then they need to go and send the surveyor out. Then the surveyor goes out there and says, 250, this ain't worth 250, this is worth 200. And then the offer gets knocked down. So now the vendor still wants 250, but the lender doesn't believe that the property is worth 250. And he values it down. So therefore, he's not going to borrow you the 85 or 75 or whatever percentage mortgage you're going to get. And at that point in time, you're going to have to go back to the lender or go to another one, etc. And you might not complete on the deal. This all takes time. And for somebody who needs to sell quickly, somebody who's seen their dream house on the coast, and they're thinking to themselves, wow, that dream house is going to, someone else is going to take that dream house. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they can't wait. Someone else who's got somebody abroad who, they need to go and fly abroad, they need to emigrate or immigrate immediately. They cannot wait. Somebody who's got tax issues and they're going to jail if they don't pay their tax issues. I've done so many deals, you'd be surprised. People who have tax issues. And the tax man said, listen, I'm going to take you to jail if you don't pay 30K by the end of the month. taxi drivers, a few of them people come to mind, different people who have got themselves in a situation. They cannot wait. So the term cash buyer is about speed. So what you're going to write down on a piece of paper right now, on your paper, is you're going to write down, number one, I need to become a cash buyer of property. And I am searching for motivated sellers. I no longer can just be, Brenda Stewart or Clinton Heron or Nick Parrott, unless that's your brand. You need to become a company. You need to have a website. You need to have a name. And you need to present yourself in a way that inspires confidence. Because I'm talking about, forget about your friends and family. Let's talk about Middle England. All right? Middle England, guys, I have done, I'm going to say more than, I don't know, in my time, maybe 500, between 500 and 1,000 deals in my time. Yeah? And most of the time, my office, you can see me, young, black, got 2 earrings in my ear, all right? We are sitting in the office in tracksuits with our feet up. And Middle England, whoever face you want to put on Middle England, phones up. And when they phone, because you must have a phone number, all right? Preferably not your mobile number. Yeah, and for that, guys, there's many different things you can do. There are virtual numbers you can get, which will cost you 99p a month, all right? And we will go into this in our next session, all the different resources, but we're not going to do that. I want you guys to get a scope of what the opportunity is, all right? And when Middle England phone, because you've done some sort of marketing, and that's how we're going to get into the marketing stuff at some point, you're going to pick up the phone and you're going to say, hello, hi, yes, this is St. Louis Properties. That's you, Alan, that's your company, all right? Yep, okay. And you're going to have to qualify that lead and come across as professional as possible to understand the situation and circumstances of the vendor and to be able to present and convince that vendor that you can provide a solution to them. And for that solution, you're going to require a discount because they're calling you because they want speed, because they know where they can sell their house. It's at the estate agent, and there's one in every corner. They've contacted you because they want to sell quickly. And you have said that you are a cash buyer. And that sounds like to them speed. That sounds like you've got the money in the bank and you're just going to turn up at the house and say, yeah, we'll take it, here's the money. That's what it sounds like to them. It's psychology. All right. So on that piece of paper, you should have down there website, contact number. You need a brand. Come up with something good. Quick house sell specialist or something like that. Come up with something good, something that, even on an SEO tech, if you know what SEO is, guys, search engine optimization, that even your name, yeah, it gets you high in the rankings. A lot of people start trying to do this property thing and straight away they come up with some kind of niche kind of brand. They call themselves, Umbongo properties. Don't mean nothing to nobody. This is not about vanity. But you come up with you put your last name with your middle name and you glue it to your 2 kids' names and that's the name of your company. Forget about that. This whole process is about lead generation. You're trying to generate leads. So when somebody goes to Google, they're going to put, what they're going to type in Google. Guys, give me some feedback of what they're going to type in Google. We're making really good time now because we've got quite a lot covered already. It's only 11 parts. What are they going to type in Google, guys? Just put yourself into the seller's position there. For whatever reason, sorry guys, I haven't been checking the chats. I do apologize. Let me check the chats. Yeah. So what are they going to search in Google, guys?
How do I sell my house quickly? How can I get my house sold?
There you go. There you go. Write that one down. How do I sell my house quickly? Can you come up with a brand that's called How Do I Sell My House Quickly? Or Sell My House Quickly? Or whatever it may be. Can that be your actual domain name? There's lots of different domains now, not just .coms. There's .co.uk's, there's .tos, there's loads of them now. All right? Could that be your domain name? Because immediately it's going to help with your SEO. Because this whole, conversation, this whole act that we're doing is about lead generation. You're trying to find motivated sellers and generate leads. And because you're going to learn how to negotiate a good deal, those leads are going to go up in quality. Because if I phoned, if I had a deal that was 50% below the market value, well, it's a quality lead. I mean, somebody who buys properties, and guys, I'm saying these big numbers, it's unrealistic that you're ever going to negotiate a 50% below the market value deal. Totally unrealistic. I'm being honest with you. All right, the type of deals you're looking at, you're talking about negotiating deals from 10 to 20% below the market value. All right, that's what you're looking at. Maybe even 5% below the market value. It depends. Okay. However, they all have a value. Let me ask you somebody a question here. There's somebody on this call is a homeowner. Yeah. How would you have felt if, let's imagine that your house was 300,000. All right. And you're just about to buy your house, but I could sell you the one across the road for 5% below the market value. So instead of it being 300,000, you're going to get 15,000 pounds off that deal. That person's going to walk. He's just about to go into the other house and go, whoa, 5 to 15 grand. Pays for the new kitchen. Maybe I'm going to take the one across the road. That's only a 5% discount. What happens if you can negotiate 10%, 30 grand off a house? It becomes what would somebody pay me if they could buy a house? They was going to buy the house anyway on that street. If they could buy the one across the road, but with a 20 grand discount. Oh, did you see what I did there? I did a little switcheroony. Did you see the switcheroony? The switcheroony is I negotiated a deal that possibly was 10% below the market value across the road. 10% of our £300,000 house is, in fact, I'm going to whip up my notepad. Don't you guys just looking in my face? My whiteboard. Can you see my whiteboard? Let me see. Let's click this. Let's do this. Can you guys see my whiteboard? Yay?
Yeah.
You can. Fantastic.
Yes.
Everyone's just looking in my board. I know this one. But here we go. We've got a house, 300K. And I'm able to negotiate a discount from a motivated seller of 10%. Oh. Yeah, of 10% below the market value. That is going to be £30,000 off that house. That's not unrealistic, a 10% discount. What happens if there was somebody who really wanted to buy a house on that street and they was willing to pay the market value of 300K, and I'm able to say, bro, mate, love, sweetheart, sister, I've got one across the road exactly the same. You're going to go and refurbish this place anyway. All right? I've got one across the road for £280,000, which is, a £20,000 reduction in the price of that house. Okay? Why wouldn't this person, want 20K off of the deal? What is he going to be able to do with 20K in his pocket? Loads of things. New bathroom, new kitchen, new windows, take himself on a little holiday. But the difference between this and this, he's going to tell me the number. He's going to tell me the number difference between this and this. Ka-ching! Ka-ching! That's my ka-ching right there. That's me just negotiating a 10% discount off of this property and selling it to somebody at this number here and making ka-ching. This is possible. I've presented it very simple to you, but this is happening every single day. There's somebody on this call right now who I do business with, yeah? And this happens daily. But I'm showing you guys, I'm giving you guys, I don't know how much would be, normally the Americans would say $1 million worth of game. I'm giving you the game because unity is about empowerment and it's also about unity because there's ways in which I can assist you and you can assist me. All right. So let's get back to our notes. We're looking for motivated sellers. And guys, if anytime you want to ask questions, just pop your hand. So just pop your hand. There's a little icon down here to allow you to pop your hand, I believe. If you go to one of them, you can put your hand up, ask a question. or just put it in the chat. All right, is that first and foremost, guys? A situation is coming up in this world right now, which is about recessions, about rising prices, about hardship for a lot of people. Now, unfortunately, that is going to create a perfect storm of opportunities of people that are going to turn around and say, you know what, let's sell the house. You know who else sells their house? Maybe you're downsizing. Who's got parents or who's in a situation where once upon a time they had 4 or 5 kids in the house and now the kids are gone and they're just in a 4 or 5 bedroom house by themselves. They've got equity. Because earlier I was asking you a question and I said to you, what type of people who, you know, may not be able to sell their property for 15,000 below the market rate? People who don't have the equity. What is equity? Does anyone know what equity is? Can I explain what equity is real quick? It's all right if you don't know. Equity is the difference between what you owe and what the property is worth. So if you have £100,000 property, that's its market value, and you only owe the bank 50,000, you have £50,000 worth of equity in that property. Am I making sense? Somebody nod their head to me. Yeah, am I making sense? So therefore, if somebody said to you, I want to buy your house for 80,000, well, you can do that because you've got 50k in the house. You're going to take a little hit, so you're only going to make 30k, but you're all right. But if there's a situation happens whereby you have a house that's worth 100k and you owe the bank 95, all right, because you've only got 5% worth of equity in your home, all right? And then I come along and say, listen, I want to give you, 80 grand for your house. You can't automatically make that decision to sell that property to me for 80k because you owe 95. The bank's not going to let you just sell the property and without, again, giving them their money. Now, there's ways in which you can negotiate this. There's things that can be done. You can buy it, still do certain things, and there are other things we can talk about other solutions to people who do not have any equity. Okay, you can rescue them. You could be Equity Rescue Service, which is a great little company I know about. To allow people to still have an option to walk away from their property. All right, without and them being in negative equity. But we're gonna get to that. All right. So look at my notes here, guys. I'm going to say something to you, little quotes, and the quote is: there are 2 types of people, all right, who don't achieve much in life. All right. The first one are people who cannot follow instructions. People who cannot follow instructions don't achieve a lot in life, by and by. And then there's other people who can only follow instructions. This one's a deep one. There are people that can't follow instructions because they're too hard of hearing. Yeah. And then there's people who all they can do is follow instructions. They have no impetus. This is about initiative, guys. That quote is about initiative. It's about you being able to turn around and go, okay, cool. Jay's going to give me some instructions, but I want to fill in some blanks. I want to take the initiative. I'm not going to just wait for step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. No, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in people who have courses who say they're going to teach you how to trade, for example. Just do A, B, C, D, E, and F. It doesn't work like that. It's about you understanding the alphabet and understanding A, B, C, D, and F, but taking initiative. So there's somebody on this call right now who wants to do this property thing. The very first thing they're going to do is they're going to sit down, they're going to think about what is their brand going to be called? What is their name? What is their name? Write it down, guys, because I'm not writing it down. Write it down. All right? What is their name going to be? How are they going to present themselves to the customer who's going to be a motivated seller? And like I said, I implore you guys, I'm not trying to say you cannot be a success in that way, but I'd say initially you're trying to get the ball rolling. Don't call yourself, Syncora Magic Homes or something. Get to the point. Call it something that is going to touch the motivated seller and make them want to take action, make them want to trust you, make them want to believe that you can do what you do. Call yourself, home buyers or call yourself something that is relevant. All right. Then what you're going to do, guys, is you are going to go and try to, when you're thinking about that brand name, you have to be trying to secure it against a domain. So you will have a website open. I'm going to open a few. There's loads of them, guys. You can go on your one-on-ones. You can go on your PC names. You can go on your GoDaddies. But you're going to be searching the internet tirelessly through your domain websites and try and find a domain that's relevant to your name. Ideally, your name. Yeah. So if you're fast buyer, golden house buyers, or cash buyer central, or cash buyer nation, whatever it may be, I don't know. You're going to try and secure that domain name. Now, once you've secured that domain name and you have your brand name, that's the first step. Second step is this, guys, is you're going to go on Fiverr. Yeah? Everyone knows about Fiverr. And you're going to get a very cheap, as cheap as possible, website knocked up, which is going to be a lead generation website. That what happens is this. People come to your website. They read one page of information. Whoever believes that you need 8 pages of information with 50 different links, they lied to you. Because I cannot recall the last time I went to a website and I was reading through 25 pages on the website. I can't remember. I don't know about you guys. If you're on the website and you're going through reading all the about us, reading all about the history. No, you don't do that. What you normally do is you want the punchlines. And the punchlines, what you want is you want to know what the company's doing, what they're about. You want to read some testimonies. All right? You're going to read some testimonies. You want to see maybe some accreditations. All right? And we're going to talk about accreditations as well. And I'm giving you some of the market secrets, guys. Guys, if you go on a website, every single company is the world's first or the UK's leading. Every single one of them. Award-winning. What award? Tell me the award was it? What was it? A BAFTA? What was it? What did you win? A BET? A MOBO? What award is it that you won? But it's psychology. When somebody comes in, they see award-winning, or here's a good one you will see, as seen on these websites, and they'll have like the Times, they'll have Radio 1, they'll have some other little things on the bottom, and you think, oh, this is good. Oh, they've been in the Times. The Times, for what? Anyone can get the Times. Some kind of little kind of article that you submitted, and they decided to get any content. This is all psychology, that when your visitor comes to your page, they feel confident that, oh, wait a minute, fasthomebuyers.net, they have some testimonies. All right. Now, I'm not saying to you lie. Okay. This is not what I'm saying to you. I'm not saying to you lie. I am saying to you, manifest. Is that a better word? Yeah. I'm saying to you, it's like this, guys. It's this simple. People judge you based upon what they see. It's just a fact. Yeah. Appearance matters. Yeah, when you see someone coming to you down the street and they're dragging one leg and their shirt's all dirty and you don't even want to talk to them. You don't even want to know what they got to say. And then you see someone else coming to you, they're well presented, they walk in, they got good posture. You think to yourself, okay, no problem. You give them that time. It's the same with business. Yeah, you wouldn't go and eat from somewhere that you didn't think looked clean. Why do you think they have the hygiene rating 5-star in the front window? It's only when you look closely, it says 2019. Yeah? But they have it there in the window because it presents to you, and you think to yourself, I'm going to go and eat there. You don't take the time to necessarily go and clock that it's 2019. Why has he still got it in the window? It's 2022. Why have you still got a 2019 rating in the window? Well, the last one was 3-star. So he just thought leave the 5-star up one in the window. Unfortunately, guys, that's how it goes. All right? So the same way you've got to do it. So your website must have your name. Your strapline, if you've got a tagline, is even better. Makes you, catchy. You want to have on that website, on that page, you want to have some information about you guys. We are this, we do that, we cover this area, and what you do. Get to the point. What is it you do? We buy your properties quickly for cash. That's what you do. Because we've already spoke about that word cash. It means speed. Then you can give some examples. You can say, found yourself, looking for your dream home, trying to buy your dream home in a chain. People, when they're buying properties, they're in a chain, meaning that I want to buy this property, but I got to wait for this person to buy my property to get the money. But if this person doesn't get a mortgage, especially in this looming recession, where a lot of mortgages are getting pulled, people's chains will be broken. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I got my eyes on my dream house. I thought everything was organized. I was just about to complete. I started putting everything into boxes, and all of a sudden I get a phone call from the estate agent or the solicitor. I says, "Oh, you know, the other guys, they've pulled out their mortgage. The chain has been broken." At that point in time, I am highly motivated. The wife's been giving me stick for forever, and all of a sudden now we can move, and I'm thinking, "Oh yes, the promised land." And then she hears from the solicitor that no, we can't do it anymore, and I'm getting stick again. I ain't getting no hot food. You know, the bed's all, you know when she just curl up on the other side of the bed. Yeah, it's problems. At that point in time, I am motivated. Would I take a 5% discount? A 10% discount? Yes, I would. Because I've got my eyes on my dream property. I've mentally moved into that property. Yeah. So you're going to present these different, examples. You know, have you found yourself in financial difficulty? Do you need to sell your property quickly? You're going to present these examples because to somebody, to the visitor on your website, they're going to say, "Damn, that's me." They're going to say, "That's me." And then you're going to have a lead generation form. Now, guys, let me tell you about the form. The form needs to be short and sweet. We're not just talking about a name and an email address. You can't put down on the name you want in this. You don't want it to be Badman379. You want first name, last name, you want an email address, you want a contact number, but you also want some other information to prepare you for the call. Guys, I'm giving you the gems. I'm telling you because I'm giving it to you. Like I've done this for 20 years and I've got over 60 different lead generation sites out there on the internet. Yeah. You want to capture some information so that you know who you're talking to and you can posture yourself in the right way. So you want to ask them, what is their current situation? Like what is their situation? Why do they need to sell? And you want to list them out. You want to put repossession. Guys, if you're getting repossessed, the bank turns around and says, "Listen, we are going to take this house by the end of the month, give you maybe, county court judgments, yeah, completely mess up your credit. Plus, we might even sell for less than you owe and still have to pursue you for the rest of the money." If you are going to get repossessed by the end of the month, you are highly motivated. You'll think to yourself, "Yeah, but who is, left it too late to the point it gets to all the way to the end of the month? Who does this?" Let me tell you who does this. The same person that gets a parking ticket and doesn't pay it straight away. The same person when the letters come through the door, they just leave it on the side. Have you seen that? I remember I got to my dad's house and the letters are just stacked up in a little pile on the side. I'm like, well, you don't want to open them. So maybe you should open them. You're not going to do anything with them in the envelope. Maybe you should open them. It happens, guys, where people don't take action and then at the last minute, they panic. I'm ready now. I'm ready to sell now. I'm going to do these type of things now. These are the people. So you present it. So like I said to you, you're going to ask them, are they repossession? Is it ill health? Guys, unfortunately, people find themselves in ill health and, they want to sell their property. Probate is going to be another one. Probate, somebody passes away. There's lots of family members or a few brothers and sisters that don't really get on. And everybody's fighting and arguing about they want this, they want that. Mum's house is this, mum's house is that. Do you know what most people in probate situation want to do? They want to solve that situation quickly. So they don't mind taking a discount. The house is mortgage free. There's no mortgage on the house. And it's worth £500,000 or it's worth £1 million. And then you come in and be like, "Listen, I tell you what, you could do the whole the house, decorating it, do that. The garden's a mess. You need a new bathroom, new kitchen to put it on the market, blah, 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 blah. You could do all those things because you think your house is worth $1 million. Or I'll tell you what, I'll give you 800 for it now." And they're like, and the brothers are on their face. The brothers ain't got 2 pennies to rub together. So when they hit £800,000 right now by the end of the month, they say, "Yep, we'll take it." You just negotiated a £200,000 discount off of that property because its market value, and we'll get to what market value is, all right, is £1 million. Okay, so you need to find out their terms, the conditions. You want to find out how quickly they want to. This is a huge one. You need to ask them, how quickly would you like to get this done? Because if they turn and say, in the next 6 months or so, you're like, yeah. Like, it's still a lead. You're still going to call them, still have a conversation, be like, yeah. You know which one you want them to tick? This one. ASAP. P. Ooh. And I see that when I go, they want to do it ASAP. All right? Because that means that they're highly motivated. Okay? You want to ask them what type of property they have. Do they have a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom? You want to ask them how many bedrooms and what type of property. Is it a semi-detached, terrace, detached? Is it a bungalow? You want to ask them those questions. Do you know why? Because you are getting the information that you can prep for the call. Let me tell you something. When I call Mr. Smith, when I call Anthony about his house, I already know how much it's worth. Like, I'm going to posture myself in a way because I know how much his house is worth. Because I've already done a little bit of due diligence. Yeah. And this is about language, guys. Language separates us from animals. All right. Due diligence is the term that you hear people do. That just means to go and research the property, try and understand, what's going on with it. So I already know what it's worth. And obviously, you want any other information that they can tell you about it. Another one I like to be on there is what condition is the property? Just give them a score, 1 to 10. Or, is it terrible? Because that's going to affect the value and it's going to influence your offer. Because this person said that the house is terrible, yo. Well, if the house is terrible, well, I might have to make you a slightly, I might adjust my offer, all right? And then on that page, guys, like I said to you, you want some testimonies, all right? You want some, however way you get these testimonies, you want some testimonies of some people saying, I used Sell My House Quickly and the service was fantastic, all right? It's psychology, guys. Yeah, it happens with every single thing you purchase. When they turn around and they say like, fresh fruits, or it's called something, the juice is called, juicy fruits with all the big coconuts and everything. It looks so fresh and delicious. But when you look on the back of it, it's got no coconut juice in it whatsoever. Yeah, it's marketing. And you're going to get amazing at doing marketing. So there you go, guys. You've got your website. That's your website. Let me show you a better way you can go and do this. Let me show you a great, show you another hack. Come close. I'm always to you. Google, how do I sell my house quickly? Go onto Google and go and click that company that's at the top of the list and look at their form. Look at their website. There you go. There's a hack. That could have saved me 20 minutes. Go on there, look at their website. Furthermore, go through a few of them. Find the one not the one that's got 8,000 pages. Find the one that is a landing page. People might like to say it's called a squeeze page, whereby the only thing that they can do on there is sign your form or leave. Not they can play around and they're doing this, they're clicking down, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, for now, you just want a solid landing page where someone can go, get what they're getting and leave. And what they're getting is they want a call back. They want a callback from this fantastic Buy My House Quickly company as soon as possible. All right? Because they're in a situation, because more than likely they haven't only contacted you. More likely they might contact a couple. But maybe they might not. Who knows? Maybe you're the only guy. Yeah? So go and click on somebody else's one. And I'll tell you why you're going to do that as well, guys. Because when you go to Fiverr, listen. When you go to Fiverr, you're going to send them that link and say to them, copy this website. But just change the name to, Eyes Buys House Quickly, or, Clinton's the fastest highspower.com. Change the name to that, change the colors, and that's what I want done. That's going to save you a lot of pain dealing with developers. Going, okay, so what do you want? Look at my portfolio. I've got this, I've got that. Blah. I want you to copy this website. How long is it going to take? How much is it going to cost? Whatever price he says to you or she says to you is going to cost, it's too much. Rule number 1, you go on Fiverr, whatever price that they say that they're going to do that, copy that website for, it's too much. Yeah, you're probably going to get half the price, whatever they say. Because you just want a lead generation form, and what the lead's going to do, you don't have a back end, you don't have a CMS system, yeah, which is a content management system. It's going to create a lead and it's going to email it to an email address. That's how you're going to receive these leads, as an email to you. I'm giving you guys the fastest and the quickest way to to prove the concept. Yeah, this is the fastest way. Of course, you can have a massive website that you just go and spend X amount of money on with videos and that, but this is a quick way of getting up and running, so that when Tanika goes to her church and she's able to put up some leaflets some flyers. Put some flyers down, just by where the people are just about to go and, pay a little £1 or whatever it may be for the candle and light it and kneel down and pray to the man in the sky. Yeah. She's got some leaflets on the side. And someone just, as they just look over there as they're praying, they go, what? And they see a name which has immediate impact. They see what you can do for them. We can buy your house within 30 days, no questions asked. Right? They also see a contact number. You must have a contact number. Preferably not a mobile number, is what I would say, because it just comes across as you're a little bit man in a van. You're just out here with your mobile. Yeah. Even if it is diverting to a mobile number, that's fine. But it presents whereby it is an actual number, and you have your website address for the people that pick up that leaflet and they wait till they get home, or they go on their phone in the car and then they do it. You have now got all of those things. So when somebody she's sitting next to is like, oh my gosh, man, my chain's broken at the moment, and what's that? Tanika goes, what you should do is maybe you should check out this company. Yeah. First and foremost, let me tell you about Tanika. Tanika works for that company. Guys, I'm giving you game. I'm not giving you the traditional, let's go on YouTube and let's listen to the course and the guy's trying to say the course and give you some fluff. I'm giving you the facts. You work for that company. Tanika doesn't own the company. Because if Tanika owns the company and Tanika goes and offers somebody 90 grand on a 100K house, the buck stops with you, Tanika. I'll be like, what do you mean? You're the owner, man. You're supposed to be this big. Like, give me some more money, please. Let's do that 95. Can you not do 95, Tanika? But when Tanika works for the company, you know what she says? I'm so sorry. If it was me, I'd love to offer you more money on the property. However, our system says the maximum that we can offer you is this. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and talk to my manager. You put it on the phone, on the side, you sit around for a little while, go on Instagram, like that. Have a look at what's going on, and you come back on the phone and you go, I'm so sorry. That's going to be our best offer. Yeah? Because you're not the person in charge. You work for that company. I'm giving you game. You do it in another way, people are going to want to argue with the director. You ain't got time for that. You want to generate leads. Okay, we're making good time, all right? So I'm going to keep it moving forward. All right? Now, when you generate this lead, you're going to give these people a call back. And when you call them back, you're going to be sympathetic to the situation, if it's that scenario, guys. But let me tell you something. Most of the deals that I've done are not from people that are in financial difficulty. I'll tell you that much. People think, oh, you are like some vultures preying on people that have got no financial. No. The biggest percentage of deals that I do is not, people that are in financial difficulty. Sometimes it's just people who want to move on. They've had enough. They don't want to do the viewing stuff. Hoarders, I've done a lot of people whose house is in a bad situation. I think out of embarrassment, they'll just want to do the deal and they don't mind taking a slight discount. All right. People that, so the bottom line is that, you want to make sure that once you've got those things, your website, your name, your brand, you want to do a couple of things. Let me tell you something about marketing techniques that I have used that are very powerful. All right. Letter drops. Now, I'm going to tell you about a letter drop. A letter drop is expensive. All right, it is expensive. I have dropped over 1 million letters on Greater London in my time. Yeah, letter drops are expensive because think about it. You need paper. You need to get them printed. More than likely, you're gonna have to fold them, guys. I've many a time in your early days, I've sat around. I've got all the family or friends out, and people have been folding and putting things in envelopes, folding, putting things in envelopes. I've done that way, or you can pay other people to do it. And what you want to do on those letters, I'm not going to tell you about these letters yet, but you can do letter drops, okay? Now, with letter drops, I'm going to tell you the pros and cons. The pros are, they're powerful. The people that are in a situation, or the people that know that something's coming up, you know what they do? They take those letters and they save them. They keep them around. They keep the letters. So let me go back in here and I'm going to write some stuff down back on our whiteboard. All right, I'm going to use the text editor this time because me trying to write was terrible. All right. People, they keep those letters for a long time. All right, they put them in the top cupboards. All right. So letter drops. Now, these letters should be like a letter that you would get from like a parking ticket. They should have they should be on a windowed envelope. All right. And let me tell you the secret. This is the secret sauce. I'm spilling too much sauce. I'm spilling too myself. All right. The secret is you want to put on there, and it's got to look urgent. It's got to look like potentially that letter might even be a fine. It's got to say like to the homeowner. You don't know who you're sending it to. These are generic letters. Who's ever got one of those letters before? To the homeowner, maybe even in red. Oh my gosh, in red. To the homeowner. You're like, oh my days. And then you open it up and it says, to the homeowner, we are house buyer fast or whatever, fast house buyers, and we have identified your property as blah, 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 blah. We can buy your property quickly for cash. Now, the people that it's no relevance to, they throw it in the bin and understand it's marketing. You might even get some people that call the number and going, how dare you? I've had people call, how dare you put this letter through? We thought it was a fine, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, it's marketing, you know? Get over it, all right? So letter drops. How other ways can you market, guys? Does anybody else know any other ways they can do marketing? What other marketing can they do to promote this new website that you've got, which is a landing page, squeeze page, this brand that you've got, this contact number that you've got, you know, and you're going to have an email address also, guys. You must have an email address attached to that domain. All right. All of these things you can get done at Fiverr, guys. Do not think it's because I don't know nothing about this. Go on Fiverr, say what you want. I require this version of this website. I need one email address. Here's the domain. Yeah, blah blah blah. Believe me, you'll get it done for less than less than 100 quid. Yeah, you will get it done for less than 100 quid. All right. Depending on quality, guys. Everyone's got their different looks of what they want, or maybe I tend to say don't go cheap, don't go for the cheapest, don't go for the most expensive, because what you're trying to do is proof of concept right now. You're trying to see if what Jay said, does it work. You want to prove that you can always improve a website. You don't want to start spending money hand over fist on a website. You want to prove that this thing works first and foremost. Okay. So what other ways of marketing, guys? Does anyone think of any? Let's get some participation. Don't want you falling asleep. What other ways can you market this brand new company? What other ways? Come on, somebody knows. Somebody's going to say something. What other ways?
Cars.
Go on.
You could put your flyers on people's cars.
Flyers on people's cars?
Or hand them out.
I'm not going to say
hand them out. If you
can hand them out the right place. Let's say flyers for now. Guys, you have to understand like this, right? I'm trying to get you to the quickest way down the mountain, all right? And the quickest way down the mountain is going to be cheap, all right? Because if you're putting flyers in everyone's cars, what cars? Everyone in the area? I mean, these flyers, let me tell you something as well. When you actually pay for your flyers, you're going to pay for your flyers and you see money that, throw them like that. Every time they do that, it's going to cost you, it's 10, 15 pence or whatever it costs. So you have to be quite strategic with flyers, but flyers are essential. I would say put flyers in places where people congregate. Because let me tell you something, you put a flyer on my brand new car and it rains and I come back to my car and I've got flyers stuck to my windscreen, I ain't happy. Yeah? I'm not happy. So it's better you put flyers in places that people congregate. Where do people congregate? Let's think about some places where people may congregate where you can put some flyers. Church. I can give you some. Church, fantastic. Yeah. Club. Barbers, where people are sitting down doing nothing, where they congregate, you might be able to tap into these people. And if you get clever about this, you will identify your demographic first. Think about it. People who are downsizing are a certain age. Maybe it's not best that you put your flyers for selling your property quickly at what's it called again? Power League, where kids go and play football and they're between the ages of 12 and whatever. Maybe it's not best there. Maybe you got to think about that demographic. Where might people have financial difficulty? Maybe at your Citizens Advice Bureau, where people are like going there to try and find some information. Would they allow you to put something up on a notice board? Maybe, people that, when we're talking about probate, or Danny said 9-9 earlier, we're talking about people that whereby someone's had a death in the family, now they're trying to sort out their house. Could you have some sort of relationship with, the people that, the halls that throw the 9 nights, or with the crematorium, or with, do you understand? If you identify these different motivated sellers, Yeah, that in our next session we'll have a nice syllabus. We'll have lots of things that you guys we can go through and we can tick them up. But right now, I want to give you guys the initials so you can understand this opportunity. All right. So I'm going to motor through right now before time starts running away with us. All right. So we talk about flyers, and I'll just say to you, there's lots of things you can put in church. You know, you could put in the barbers. You know, you could put in your I don't know. Restaurants, blah 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 blah. All right, guys. Also, guys, you know, Bobby Google. Now, when it comes to Google advertising, guys, I'd say to you guys, you are entering an industry which is extremely expensive to advertise it. Every single person out here, you know, wants a cheap house. It is expensive. Your keywords are going to be expensive. But let me show you some hacks of how you get through and you get around. Blogs. Get good at creating blogs. Yeah, get good at creating some sort of blogs and creating some sort of narrative that you can have for free. Say, for example, you can create a website. You ready for the hack? So as well as your domain that you registered, yeah, which is your brand, what about registering a domain which is top 5 cash buyers in the UK? Guys, we've all seen these websites. Because I know when I'm going to go and buy or do anything, I want to know the top 5. I need to know the top ones. And they're going to say to me, this is the top company that do this, do that, do this, do that. And you know what you do? Don't put yourself as number 1. Yeah? But put yourself as number 2. Put yourself as number 3. Have a little blog talking about certain things. You know, talking about all the things that somebody could try and do to sell their property quickly. Give to receive. You're giving that information. Like, I'm giving you this information right now, and you're going to pour back into me with your, you know, understanding that I'm somebody who's given, and we can join the family, do other things, and we can help each other, and we can make some money. You're doing property deals in the future. All right. So that information you can put out there on a separate domain doesn't generate a lead. It's got no form to it. It doesn't have no form in it. But then it also says, after it says you can do all these things to sell your property, it says, or you can use a cash buying company who allow you to sell your property quickly, without the stress, without the hassle, and no fees, like quick buying houses. I used them and they was amazing. Because somebody's going to scroll down there and they're not cleaning the house, they're not redecorating, they're not doing this, they're not going to do that, they're not putting a new kitchen in. Oh, wait a minute, sell quickly for cash, boom. And they're going to click your link, come to your webpage. These are different ways you can generate leads free. Social media, guys. Your social media should be used to market your services, but you have to market your services in creative ways nowadays, guys. People want to follow people that have got something to say. People want to follow people that, you know, have good content. But you want to look at the most, intuitive ways to go and secure properties. Let's move forward. All right. Now, just looking at my little list. All right. So you have to position yourself correctly. Now, let me tell you how you actually make some money. Let's get to the money. All right, guys. In our next sessions, we're going to go into depth about how we conduct these calls and how we speak. But first and foremost, guys, you need to understand what you're doing is you're marketing your services, but it's ultimately sales. You're ultimately selling to people. So people are going to call. You're going to have to be able to answer that phone and sound professional and be able to say to the other person on the phone line to be able to capture the information. Now, where this comes into play of you working for the companies, you do not have to be amazing in that phone call. I'm telling you the facts, because you are just, just a kind of just a receptionist, sales. I haven't even been working here that long. I'm just here to take your information. Okay, no problem. Hi, how you doing? What's your name? Okay, yeah, I can see that is your contact number 079. I can see the lead, and your email address is james@google.com. Okay, fantastic. And you tell me about the property? Yeah. You tell me about your situation? Okay, fantastic. Yeah, you did give us some of this information. Okay, so what we do, and you're going to have a standard script. Your script's going to be, we do this, we do that, we can buy a property very quickly. They're going to ask you these questions. How long does it take? You're going to tell them, we can do it next day if needed, but more time out of 10, within 30 days it will be done. That's what you're going to say to them. You can say, we can do it immediately, but more than likely, within 30 days we'll get it done. Why? When do you need it done? And they're going to tell you some more information. And you're going to drop all of this information down. If it's a flat that somebody's selling, guys, and I hope you're taking notes, you have to ask them, you know, how long is the lease? Because flats are leasehold properties and houses are freehold properties. All right, that's just talking about the land. Every single house is on a plot of land, and that land, you either own it or someone else either owns it. If you live in a flat, it's unlikely that all 400 people that live in that one plot of land own the land. No, one person owns the land, and you are leasing. You have a leasehold property to be able to still. So you must ask them how long the lease is. You want to also ask them about service charges and ground rent. You're trying to get that information. And I say again, if it's a flat, you need to know about the lease. You need to know how long the lease is, and you need to know the service charge and any ground rent on the property. Okay? And then at that point in time, guys, you're going to ask them about their situation. You're going to explain to them what they can do. And then you're going to say to them, okay, fantastic. We're going to get back to you with an initial offer. That's the only thing that they called for. They want to know how much. You roughly already know how much, but you're not going to tell them. They're going to, because you've now got more information. They've now told you some other stuff. Oh yeah, well, we did have a leak in the how the roof has got a hole in it, and there's rats, and they just told you some new stuff. So you're going to take that information and you're going to say, I'm going to contact you back with an initial offer. Let me tell you about this initial offer, guys. You ready for it? The initial offer is going to be fair, but it's going to be low. Now, I'm trying to use my words wisely here because I don't want to sound as though what we're doing is we're just taking advantage or anything like that. We're not. But this is business and this is negotiation. So your initial offer is going to be low. Let me tell you something. The person on the other end of the phone call is supposed to go. If they don't go, you went in too high. They're supposed to be able to be like, oh, it's a bit low, isn't it? Yeah? But not ridiculous, guys. Don't offer somebody half the price in their house. But go in conservatively. And like I said to you, ultimately, guys, you're looking for between 10 and 20% discount. All right? So go in at your best. Put your best foot forward. And they're gonna come back to you and say to you, oh, no way, mate. No, I can't do that. Is there anything better you can do? And at that point in time, now you're negotiating. Or you're going to ask them, what is it that they want for the property? And if they say something ridiculous, that the house is over 100, and they'll say, they need like 98, you're going to say, well, we're not going to be able to help you. You see, people understand that there has to be something in it for us. They understand it's a business, but they don't want to be unfairly treated. So you're going to just try and do your best to understand what they're doing, but make them know that you're going to get their house gone quickly for cash, and there has to be something in it for us. That is a discount. But remember, you present as the cash buyer. It's very important. You present as the cash buyer. Your company. You are buying it. That's how you speak to them over the phone, that you are buying this property. Because at that point in time, they've got visions of this company, huge amounts of money, boom, 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 and they're buying the property. So you must present as you are the cash buyer. I'm talking psychology. I'm not talking to you from the maths of it. I'm talking about what works. Because you're not going to be buying it. Because right now everyone's on the call and they think to themselves, but I'm not buying the property. Because how am I going to make any money from this? You are a lead generation tool. That's what you're doing. You are taking advantage of what's happening in the world right now and the current adversity and turning it into an opportunity, because every time you go to work, Dave has been saying to himself, bloody hell, man, the house is killing me. I need to sell it, but I can't be bothered with the estate agent stuff and that. So I'll just get rid and just go to Lanzarote. This is an opportunity. It's going to sell to somebody. Why not you? So when Dave says, you know what, and he calls that number, and he says, you know what, for his 100 grand house, he doesn't mind taking 85 and disappearing. You will have to secure that deal, which is something else we'll talk about in another session. And therefore, this secured deal that you can secure in many ways, all right, is worth something to somebody, to a real cash buyer, a real investor in property. It is worth something to them. And you're going to be able to sell these leads. This is the kicker. Sell these leads for tens of thousands of pounds to investors or newbie buyers, people that want to buy in that area anyway. You're going to be able to sell your leads to them for instant cash. This is facts. Now, for this to happen, you need to do the things I've already told you about. Position yourself as a business. Have a name that's catchy, that's to the point. Have a lead generation form so you can generate leads. Have a contact number. Market those services via social media, via letter drops, via flyers, via your Instagram, via getting listed in all the directories and all the different things online, via writing blogs, yeah, or even answering, commenting on other people's blogs, yeah, because at this stage you just want to do one deal. You want to prove what Jay says is correct. Forget about taking over the world. You want your phone to ring and someone to say, "Is this Quick House Buyers?" And you're going to go, yeah, it is Quick House Buyers. Yeah, how can I help you? Oh, yeah, well, I'm giving you a call because I saw your flyer. Ding! Where did you see our flyer? Do you mind me asking? Oh, I saw it in the pub on the notice board. Ding! You write that down. The notice boards in the pub works. You write it down. You're going to put some more of those up. You're proving, proof of concept. You're proving that it works. Then you're going to speak to them and they're going to tell you all the information, the same information you have on the lead form on your website. You're going to ask them and you're going to have a good rapport with them. You're going to be empathetic, have empathy about their situation if it is a situation. And they're going to say, oh, well, and you're going to be in tune with the times. Because when you talk to that person on the phone, you're going to be saying to them, yeah, I know it's crazy because my bills have been going up as well. This is about building a rapport. So yeah, I understand. Or the kids have moved out. Yeah. Whatever let me tell you something. When somebody called my phone, when I used to be on the phone, so I'm not on the phone anymore, we have a sales team. When I used to be on the phone, whatever somebody says to me on the phone is happening to me. Whatever it is. Oh yeah, the kids moved out and the house. It's so funny because like my mum currently, she's in like a 4-bedroom house as well. When all the kids have moved out, she's kind of in there by herself. She was actually thinking the same thing. She needs to downsize. There's no point. She's heating a 4-bedroom house. It's all by herself. She can get a lovely smaller place and save some money, etc. Especially with what's happening right now with the potential recession. Whatever that person says to me on the phone, same thing's happening to me. Yeah, it's crazy right now. Finances are getting tight. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's getting crazy right now. Yeah, me myself actually sold my car. I had to sell my car. I got a smaller car. It's about building rapport. You want that person to feel as though you can help them and you empathize and understand what's going on with them. Okay. Now, when that lead is complete and you've turned around and you've gone back, you've done some due diligence. Guys, I'm going to tell you some websites right now and get to some because we're right on the money. We're going to move it forward. Rightmove is going to allow you to do some due diligence. There's many others, but I'm going to say Rightmove. If you don't know what Rightmove is a property portal. Everyone should know what Rightmove is, okay? And what you're going to do when you're doing your due diligence is because your lead is not a lead until you know it's a good deal. So therefore, you have to establish the value of a property. The first thing you want to do is you want to go onto Rightmove and you want to go put the postcode of that person's property in Rightmove, okay? And you want to go and see and try and find, sorry, I'll skip a step. You want to go and find that person's property on Street View. I'm giving you game, guys. I'm giving far too much game, but I'm telling you. If somebody says they live at, IG1, 4SQ, number 17, go on Street View on Google Maps and go and find that property. Let me tell you what you're not going to do. You are not going to jump in your car immediately and go and visit them in their house. It is not scalable. How are you going to do that? What if they call you from Scotland? You're going to go Scotland? So you're not going to do that. You're going to do everything remotely first, which means, write it down. You're going on Street View. You're going to go find a property on Street View. All right? Then you're going to go, and when you found that property, now you know the style of the property. and you know what it looks like from outside, you're going to go on Rightmove and go and put that address with a 1/4 mile radius, and you're going to find a property that looks exactly like that one. And you're going to go and find 3 of them at least and see what they're going on the market for. Because you're on that form, yeah. Sorry, there was one thing I missed out there, apologies. On the form, when I said to you about your form, you want to have on there, how much do you think the property is worth approximately? You want to ask them how much they think it's worth, all right? Because they would know, or maybe they don't know, but you want to ask them anyway, all right? But on Rightmove, you're going to go and see what those type of properties are going on the market for, all right? How much? So you're going to see one, okay, they're going on there for 300K. Okay, there's one for 300, one for 320, there's one for 290. You roughly know ballpark figures. Let me tell you something about market value, guys. Guys, the market value is simply, defined as the price somebody is willing to pay for your house. That's the market value. Let me tell you something for free. If somebody comes and buys the house next door for £1 million, how much do you think I'm going to be selling my house for next week for? I'm not going to be selling my house for 200K, next door sold for $1 million. It's going to push the value up, the market value of my house. So I'm like, listen, next door sold for $1 million. This one's definitely worth 900. So market value, you go and look what it's worth. Another thing you do is you contact the agents. I'm going to give you a gem, guys. This session is about some gems. Contact the agents as an agent. Phone them up. Talk really quickly. Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, I'm calling you. Yeah, I'm calling you from Heron Properties. Yeah, just want to book value. Just want to know roughly how much houses are going for on this area. A local agent. You want a local agent. How much is a 2-bedroom going for? Yeah, on Strong Road. What company? Heron Properties. Yeah. Just roughly. Has you got any on the books? That person's going to put down the phone, and there's like a kind of unwritten rule that the agents will go and have a look at. Right, it's probably about 290, 300. You go, oh, thank you for that, mate. Put it on the phone. Phone another one as an agent, not as a customer. They ain't tell you nothing as a customer. They might even tell you the wrong price as a customer. Tell you more than it's worth. You want to call as an agent, because that agent's going to say to you, oh, they're going on the market for 300. Well, to be honest, they're selling for 275. He's going to tell you something that he's not going to say to somebody whose potential customer wants to sell their property. So you call an estate agent as an agent, because I'm giving you the game. If you want to do it another way and say, oh, hi, I'm just calling because I was just wondering. Agents ain't there to be your Wikipedia to give you information on price. They're not there to do that job. They're not going to be forthcoming. But when you call as an agent confidently and just say, I'm just looking for, I've got a property come on. Just want to know, I'm not really in the area. I know you guys are local to this area. 2-bedroom, Strong Road. How much roughly? He's going to say, it depends. Is it the ex-local ones or is it normal ones? He say ex-local. He's going to say, about 175. Say, thank you very much, mate. What's your name? Dave. Dave, thank you very much for that. Bye-bye. You're going to do that a few times. Now, what you've done is you built up a picture. On the market is saying that they were worth 200 on Rightmove, but the agent's saying they're worth about 175. You're going to take the bottom end. Especially if you've spoken to that person, they already told you their house ain't in the best condition. It's got some problems. It's got some issues. You're going to take the worst case scenario as the market value, and then you're going to discount that value. So if it's 175, you're going to take off 10% or 50% off that number. And then you're going to phone back that person, and you're going to turn around and say, okay, we've got an offer for you. We can offer you 150 for cash. And they're going to say, 150? But they're on the market for, 180. And you're going to say, but they're not really selling for that price. We've looked at it based upon what you said, etc., etc., etc. And for that reason is why we're going to offer you initially 150 for it. Now, let me tell you something about the offer and what you're going to do. Let me tell you the sweetener that you can use. The sweetener that you can use to the seller is that you're going to pay the fees. I'm giving you guys so much game. You say to them, there's no fees whatsoever. You're going to pay for their legal fees. Yeah, that's what you're going to say to them. Because they're already saving money from going to an estate agent. You're not charging them 1%, 2%, 3%. You're going to say, we'll pay their legal fees. All you're basically saying is you're going to give them back $1,000. That's kind of what you're saying. Easy. Great thing to do as a sweetener to try and secure the deal. Because they'll go, okay, there's no fees, right? And you say, yeah, there's no fees. Now, when that person turns around and after that initial offer, because there will be some backwards and forwards, Then if you need to, you put it on the phone, go have a conversation with somebody, go do your due diligence again, and maybe you can say, you know what, we can offer you a little bit better. We've come back and we can offer you 160 or 162. Give them a weird number, guys. Don't give them a round number. A round number sounds like you're just, give them 162 and a half. That's like you squeezed it. Are you listening to me? That is like you squeezed it. I'm going to offer you 162 and a half cash purchase. Now, when they agree, which you will require some paperwork signed, giving you the option to purchase this property, all right? At this point in time, guys, you have secured the deal. This piece of paper is worth money because you've secured it at 18% below the market value. You also want to sell it on, pass it on to a real investor, someone who's got real cash, or maybe it's yourself, guys. Maybe you're trying to buy the property for yourself. But let's just imagine that you're selling it on and they want it for a discount. Do you understand? So if you secure that property for 20% below the market value for argument's sake, well, they want it for 15% minimum. There's only 5% in the deal. So when you talk to them, you're going to tell them this is the price of the deal and this is how much you want for that deal. And if it's something that they require, they will pay you cash, normally upon exchange. They don't even wait for completion. Normally they'll pay you upon exchange. And let me tell you something about exchange. A lot of the times they will exchange immediately. As soon as they've done their due diligence and whatever is in place and solicitors have been instructed, they will exchange as quickly as possible. You know why? Because they want to secure the deal. So by exchanging allows them to secure the deal once they've got that paper, and then they've got a time frame to complete on the deal. You don't care. You care about exchanging, and yes, you want to have a good network of buyers that do what they say they're going to do. But you, at this point in time, when the deal gets agreed, then you will give the vendor all the terms. You will tell them that you may sell on this property for more. You be completely transparent with them. But you do not want to give them all of this information from the jump, from when they're just putting their name and email address and contact number in. It's too much. You want to have a rapport, make them an initial offer, tell them what you can do, tell them there's going to be no fees, tell them you can do it fast. When they agree, you explain to them the terms and conditions, and at that point they can come back to you and say to you, oh, what's this here, so that you can sell it on. You say, well, yes, if it doesn't meet our investment criteria for that month, we may pass it on to one of our other buyers within our network. They're not going to have a problem with that. Once it gets done, and because you've got a network, and for now your network's going to be JP Skeete, all right, that you can turn around and say to straight away, put it on the phone, say, Jay, I've got one. Where is it? It's in Stratford. What is it? It's a 3-bedroom house. Okay, send me the details, send me the postcode, let me see it. Boom, 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 boom. What is it you want for it? You're going to say, well, I think I could get 5K for it, 10K for it. Once it doesn't kill the deal, I will pay it. Let me say that again. Once your fees do not kill a deal, an investor will pay it. If you negotiated the property at 50% below the market value, which you won't, but if you did, and then you sold it onto an investor for 30% below the market value or 20% below the market value, that 30% different, they will pay you. Why wouldn't they? I mean, they're probably not going to like it because it's going to have a horrible taste in their mouth because it's a huge margin. It's unrealistic that you're going to negotiate 50%. But within reason, if we're talking about real numbers, why wouldn't they pay you 5% for giving them a great deal? They're buyers. They don't know. They didn't do all the things that we did on this session. They don't have a website. They don't have a domain. They're not picking up the phone. They don't have a contact number. They don't have some flyers out. They're not putting nothing on the market in, but they've got cash and they buy property. So when you bring them great deals, they will pay you. Why wouldn't they pay you? If they pay you, you're going to bring them another deal. And another deal, and another deal. And they're just sitting at home and they got their money, which who knows where they're getting their money from. Could be family funds, could be a fund, could be private equity, who knows? They will pay you guys. So I'm saying this is an initial conversation that we've had. And that's the end goal. Your product, your item that you're trying to generate, trying to create is a qualified quality lead. And you're going to sell those leads on to people who have cash and who aren't invested in property. And that's how you're going to get your capital. If there's someone on this call right now that want to do it for themselves, they're buying a home. If you're buying a home for yourself and your family, that's how you do it. You do your own marketing, because you know what area you want to live in, right? You want to live by the water over there. You go and drop your flyers over there. You go and drop your letters over there. You go and get into the local church over there. And then when somebody phones that number up and says, oh yeah, blah, 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 and they're gonna phone you and say, yeah, we've got a house on David's Road. You're gonna know David's Road. You're like, oh, I love that road. Yeah, and we really need to sell, blah, 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 blah. And you're gonna say, well, like, you want to buy the house. I'm talking about that one person on the call right now who wants to buy their own home right now for whatever reason, even though I don't advise it right now. That one person that's on the call right now, that person, you can do the exact same thing. Because remember what I said to you when we started? The estate agent works for the seller. Who works for you to get you the best price? Nobody. You have to do it yourself. So if you're trying to buy a property for yourself, that's how you do it. Going to an estate agent, no one ain't working for you. No one's not in your corner. That's how you do it. You do some marketing in that area, present yourself well, and somebody will call your front phone. All right. Now, like I said to you guys, because you're all, a lot of us here are going to be local, I mean, the likelihood is you're not going to be dropping flyers or letters in Scotland. You still may generate leads outside the area because you're marketing online. But when it comes to physical material, more than likely it's going to be your local area. Majority of us here are Londoners, I believe. Okay. So therefore, you are in the capital city, yeah, of, you know, one of the great countries in the planet. Yeah, and you have got by default an advantage on somebody who may be living in middle England in some little village somewhere in, you know, that it's unlikely that they're going to be securing fantastic deals in London. They may do via online, but you're in a position to do that. And let me tell you something, when you get a deal in Hackney, 2-bedroom flat, that's, you know, for whatever reason, the person's going to get repossessed and you're able to do that deal 20% below the market value, investors will tear your arm off. They will tear your arm. They don't care about you. They don't care about Sister Abana. They care about Sister Abana's deal that she's negotiated. They don't care about her. It's the deal. So this gives no barriers to entry, guys. This isn't something where you have to be in here for 20 years and you've established your sovereignty. No, if you've got a network for an exit and you're generating leads, you will be able to make money in this industry. But first and foremost, you must do the things that we've spoken about today on this call, about positioning yourself in the right way to generate these leads. You must think outside the box. And when those leads come, you must practice picking up the phone and being that personable person on the other side of the phone to have empathy, understand their situation, and to secure the deal as best. Do not be greedy, but you're trying to negotiate the best deal, because when you're selling that deal on, you're selling it at a discount. So you have to get it at a good price. Otherwise, you're not going to make any money. But then again, guys, like I said to you, it just depends about what we're talking about. You make $1,000 for sure. If every single one of those leads are good, let's imagine that somebody in this call right now does what we spoke about today. Sets up a little website, does a little, goes on Fiverr straight away, has a conversation, gets the website done, puts up some little marketing, and all of a sudden they generated some leads. Let's imagine that was the case. And you could make $1,000 off each lead, which is nonsense. $1,000. How many of those leads do you need a month or a year to make this session have some real value? So that you've gone from zero to understanding that you don't have to have any cash. You don't have to be traveling the world trying to look for these properties. All right? Let me tell you something. There is a point when you were going to go and leave your office and go and visit the property, but that is when the person on the other end is interested in your offer. Because you want to confirm what they're saying is true. They said there's a leak in the kitchen. I mean, how bad? They're not going to tell you how bad until you get there and there's water up to your knees. But you're not going to do it before the deal and they're interested in the offer. Because believe me, guys, you will end up spending a lot of money driving backwards and forwards without the fruits of your labor. All right. Now I'm going to open up some questions. We've run on a little bit. We started a bit later. I'm going to open up some questions. This is an initial beginner session, letting people understand how easy it is for them to position themselves in the right way, to take advantage of the fact that we are going into some hard times, and there are going to be people who need to sell their home. All right. And let me tell you something, for the people that are on here that are interested in service accommodation, there are going to be a lot of leads that people call, that come and call your phone, do not have the equity to sell. But what they will do is they can walk away. They're willing to walk away from that property if you can take over the mortgage. Ooh, we're dropping some sauce. If you can take over their pain, because they've got no equity anyway, they wasn't going to sell it and make no money. Think about it. Their 100 grand house is worth 95. I'm sorry, they own 95, and everyone on their street selling for 90. They're never going to sell it for 95 because it's not even been in the best condition. They just want to walk away. They're going to go back to their mums, regroup, go live with their spouse for a little while. They just want that mortgage gone. You can take over that property and you can offer them even more than the house is worth. You can say to them, look, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 120 grand for your house in 5 years' time. In the meantime, you can walk away from the property. I'll take over everything. Yeah, it's going to help your credit, etc., etc., etc. And I'll tell you what, I'll give you £1,000. You've just sorted out their issues. Their issues is every single month they can't afford this mortgage. They want to get rid. And you're going to give them 120k possibly in 5 years' time. Wow, that's a little bonus. That's like a little Brucey bonus. They walk away from the house. You take control of that property. And I'm giving it very broadly, guys. You can't just take control. You go in there, strong arm, and put a lock on the door. There's ways in which you do it. There's paperwork. There's terms. There's things that has to be done legally for you to be able to do this. But in a broad way, you can take over that property. Now you've got a property that all you have to do for service accommodation people on this call is be able to cover the mortgage and make profits. How can you do that? You turn it into a HMO. How can you do that? Provide some sort of level of service in the property. Yeah. Be able to identify with contractors and get them into your premises. This is a separate session, guys. But for now, I want you guys to understand just the basics. Positioning. Get a domain. Get a website. Get a form. If you don't know and you haven't jotted down nothing on your piece of paper because you're lazy, go online, Google. Go and look at another website, which is, just a couple pages, but it looks good. You like it, you like the look, you like the feel. Look at their form. Go to Fiverr, tell them to copy it. Now you're positioned. Now you're positioned to have a flyer, you're positioned to have a separate Instagram, a separate LinkedIn, whatever you want to do for marketing. Now you're positioned. Now you have to market that. When you market that, you need to be comfortable with taking the calls and being able to speak to people on the other end of the call and understand their situation and let them understand clearly that we will buy your property quickly, but we must have a discount. We must. If not, go to your local estate agent and deal with that headache. But if you want speed, we must have a discount. People will respect your honesty and you being very forthright about that. And then you're going to secure the deal to the point where you're going to say to that person, we're going to offer you this price, and they're happy with that price. Then you're going to secure that deal with paperwork, and you're going to put down the phone and phone your investor straight away and says, I've got something. And at that point in time, you're going to get a buyer for that deal that's going to be willing to pay you X when you secured it at Y, and you're going to make 5, 10, 15, 20, who knows, depending on the price of the property that you've secured, £1,000 per deal by doing business that way. And then you're going to replicate that over and over and over and over again. But you're going to make it more and more efficient every time. But right now, we're talking about proof of concept. For anybody on here who wants to do this, this is not something that takes massive amount of time. This is not something that's going to take a lot of cost and expense for you to set up and position yourself. And let's imagine that you get 2 leads in a year. In a year, 2 leads. But they're good leads. One's in Stratford. One's in, somewhere else good. South London somewhere. Okay? And you're able to negotiate that deal and you make £10,000 in each one of those deals. Was it worth you setting up to make £20,000 in a year from just having a website up and some marketing and waiting for that phone to ring? Was it worth it? I think so. Would it be extra worth it in a time whereby people may be more inclined to want to sell their property? I think so. Let's get some questions now, we'll go. Let's get some questions. It's a very broad session, very quick summary. I told you I wasn't going to go slides and all that straight away and start doing that. I just wanted to have a conversation and talk to you guys because I do this. I've been doing this, and I understand little nuances that someone who's never done it before will have to experience to find out. So let's get some questions real quick, and then we'll finish up. We've got about 9-10 minutes worth of questions, and then we're done. From anybody, any questions about anything? No questions?
Yeah. Can we talk about the property ombudsman? What role do they play in it?
Okay, so the property ombudsman is like an adjudicator, all right? And what they do more times out of 10, the reason why companies sign up to the property ombudsman is for the psychology, the marketing of it. That when somebody comes to your website, you are registered with the property ombudsman. Basically means if something goes down that someone's not happy about, they can contact the ombudsman. The ombudsman is like an adjudicator. They're going to contact you. They're going to have their legal team, and they're going to consult you about certain things. All right. So the ombudsman is something that you can register with. You can go and register. Ombudsman was, I don't know what their requirements are recently. All right. But you can go and Google it, property ombudsman. There's a fee that you're going to have to pay to register with them to be part of the property ombudsman. And to be perfectly honest, guys, if you want it from me, it's more about marketing. It's more about somebody coming and saying, okay, all right, you're registered with the ombudsman, yeah? Okay, yeah, okay, fine. And they feel some sort of a comfort that you're registered with the ombudsman, all right? So the property ombudsman is an accreditation. It's just a third-party company that provides a kind of, it's like being part of your union, you know? They kind of, if a customer has a problem, they'll go and talk to the ombudsman will talk to you, all right? That's the summary of it. Anybody else? Questions? I hope that helped you, sister. And it's more marketing. It's good to have it as part of your website to be registered. It's something that you can promote. So people say, "Oh yeah," and we are registered with the ombudsman. And they feel a little bit more confident. Like, "Wow, is it? Okay, that's great." All right. Doesn't really mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Any
quick one? I was just thinking, roughly how much do you pay per lead when you're marketing on Google for the motivated sellers?
Okay, so pay-per-click leads. So I'll tell you right now, there was a time, at its peak, I was spending huge amounts of money on pay-per-click advertising. Yeah, especially, it's a very competitive market. All right, so I'd say at my best, my pay-per-lead, I got down probably per pay-per-click was getting down to about, if I can remember, 13 pounds a lead. That was at its best. Now it's going to be extremely expensive. It's not that now, and I'm not currently doing a lot of Google advertising. I don't need to. All right. My business model is slightly different now. All right. But Google advertising is expensive if you're thinking inside the box. What do I mean by that? I mean that your keywords are stuff like sell house fast, quick. These are expensive keywords. You got to think outside the box. You got to have keywords that might be generating leads for people who are, in probate. So you're essentially saying this is your target of them selling your house, but you're actually advertising and giving services, as in giving information to people who are going into probate, or you're giving information to people who want to move abroad quickly, and those keywords are dirt cheap for somebody turning around and saying, how do I immigrate like this, or what to do about my tax problems. Those may be substantially cheaper than sell my house quickly. And when somebody goes and reads that article about how to do this, and your lead is there, and you generate a lead that way. That's how you use Google outside of the box. I'm telling you now for free, Clinton. I know you're a property guy, I believe. If you're the Clinton, I think you are. I'm not too sure if you are. But if you've got keywords that are sell my house quickly, blah, blah, you are going to be competing with the big boys. The We Buy Any Homes, the this, that. And I know these people. I know these people on first name basis. Like, I know the type of money that's spent trying to generate these leads. All right. So Google advertising can get expensive. I'd say to you, look at other ways of advertising, your TikToks, your social medias, your Instagrams, your Twitters, your Snapchats, your Facebooks. I'd start looking at other ways to create, to get in contact with your market. So like I said to you, at best, once upon a time, Clinton, I got down to probably about £15 a lead, but generally leads could come in at £20, £30. It depends, and I had a full-time, Google ad person who was used to do all my ads and stuff like that. So if you are somebody who's already doing marketing and finding it quite expensive, I'd say to you, think outside the box so you're not using expensive keywords. And then think about setting up this infrastructure where people are going to come for these various reasons, but they all lead back to your company because you provide a solution at the end of that article. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Yeah, because that's what you're doing is you're finding cheaper leads, but ultimately they're all providing the same solution, which is you. All right, let's go. More questions. I want somebody to turn around and say to me that they're interested in doing this, but their only problems are going to be X, Y, Z, and we're going to try and quickly solve them right now. Any questions about anything? You can go again, Clinton, if your mic's still on. No problem.
How do you feel about getting leads from cold traffic on, like you said, TikTok? Because TikTok ads, they're quite cheap, but I never tried to actually get leads from there. What do you think about
it? My whole thing is like this: I'd say to you this: all attention is good attention, because that lead's going to go through a process. The process is going to be going to fill out your forms. Sometimes somebody fills out their form and they give you their name, their email address, their contact number. They are interested to some degree. Okay, so at that point in time, you have to understand as well, guys. Sometimes you're going to speak to somebody today, and they're not going to sell their house to you for 3 months, to 6 months. Maybe they're going to try to do this, they're going to try and do that, they're going to go to the agent, they're going to do this, blah, 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 blah. You've spoken to that lead, and that's why I say to you, the rapport is very, very important. You need to be memorable. You need to remember, I remember I spoke to a guy, Jay, from Sell Your House Quickly, and he was really, he's really nice. And 3 months later, Dave's going to call you back and say, Dave, so I say, Jay, and you say, hello, who's this? Is this Dave? Yeah, how you doing there, Jay? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. We're going to have that conversation and then we're going to do the business. Sometimes it's very difficult to see your conversions like this straight away. Guys, someone's not buying a t-shirt. When someone's buying, see me right now, before I go to bed, for some reason, I know someone else does it, you're on Amazon and you're going, what can I buy? Let me just buy another phone case. Let me buy something else. You just buy it. But when you're selling your house, there's a lot more involved. They might speak to you today and not sell for 2, 3, 4, 6 months. They just speak to the missus to see if they do lose their job or they don't lose their job. Do you understand? So just secure the leads and just speak to as many customers as possible. So Clinton, if you can generate the attention from TikTok because you're giving up a message. But what I would try and say to yourself is this: try and be as personable as possible. I don't think people don't want to be sold to. You know what I mean? Be on there and talk to people about, listen, blah, 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 blah. Like, try and find another way to communicate the marketing to your customer. Don't be just out here going, sell your house quickly, come to... What differentiating you from the advert that they saw in between, the Premiership final and EastEnders that came on TV saying, we can do this and buy your house. Nothing. You're actually losing that fight because they've got an advert on TV in between the World Cup final and something else. So you want to come across different. Give them information. Give them options. Tell them what they can do. Tell them what they should be trying to do. Tell them who they should be looking for if they want to sell their house and deal with a cash buyer. And all the things you're telling them, you present as that. All right? That's what you do. Look at all the people out here who's very, very successful in whatever industry. They're out here giving this information, creating a relationship and building that trust. So when somebody comes to making their decision, they choose you. All right? So that's what I'd say. Any other questions?
No, I appreciate that though.
Yeah, man, all good, all good. That's what we're here for, just to have that conversation. Anything else? Is there someone out here who's interested in doing this? Is there anybody out here who's interested in possibly setting something like this up as a passive income stream? Or maybe they want to generate the leads for service accommodation, or they want to generate the leads for themselves to just try and sell on a lead? Is there anybody out here really thinking about it fully?
Yes, I'm really, really thinking about it. I definitely want to do it. And I've got my colleague, me and Emily. She introduced me and told me about you and gave me the link. So we want to come together in a partnership and we're very interested to start it ASAP.
Amazing, because it's very, very doable, and it's doable for not a lot of money to get a ball up and running. But what I would say to you guys is this: it's all about posturing, it's all about presenting yourself in the right way. All right, it's like nobody wants to deal with a property buying company that it's their first deal and they set up yesterday. It's just like, would you go to a dentist who said, well, basically I just got my paperwork and I'm just about to, you're the first person I've ever taken out somebody's tooth. You're not going to deal with it. You don't want to deal with it, just in case they rip out your tongue by accident. All right? Same way in regards to this property stuff, you have to present in the right way. You are the leading, UK's leading property buying company. Leading in what? Who gives a damn? Yeah, your website's got to look the right way. Your logo's got to look the right way. You've got to speak the right way. You've got to be confident. If you say to someone you're going to email them back. Let them feel comfortable with what you're doing. Because the bottom line is this: they're going to sell to anybody. They're going to sell to a normal buyer, a residential buyer. So therefore, they'll sell their house to anyone. So right now they're looking at it like, I'm going to sell to a company. They just need to know that you've got some sort of integrity and you can do what you say you're going to do. At that point in time, you want to have a network. Guys, if you start to do this right now, obviously this is the first session, you set up. You have to, the other side of the coin is having that network, which is going to provide your exits. How do you find that network? Very easily. I'm a contact. You can go to events and establish additional contracts. And Sister Abana said that she's got lots of people that were around her when she went to an event. Establishing people that want to buy your house cheap is easy. It's the easy bit. There's lots of people out here that will, if you've got the right deal, they will pay you for that deal. The hard bit is setting up yourself so that you have a scalable business that you can repeat the success. You don't want to do it really badly and you got one lead after 6 months or whatever it may be, but when people was phoning your phone, you didn't really answer it. There was no message on the answering machine. How difficult will it be for you to have a message? Hi, you've reached, sell your house quickly. All of our lines are currently busy. Please leave your contact details and someone will get back to you. And when you come home from work, you check your messages and you call back that person whenever it may be. How difficult is that? It's not difficult. And that one person that you don't call back is the one person that you could have done that deal and there was 10, 20 grand in it. Any other questions? Any other questions? Do the first bit. Like I said, this is just a beginner's session. There has been no documentation. There's no links or anything. Think about the first element. For the people that are here for the marketing, think about creative ways about the market. Think about identifying motivated sellers, but not coming through the front door, coming through the back door. Turn around and say, okay, well, if I'm trying to go and find people who, may be immigrating, maybe moving abroad, should I be making relationships with the holiday companies? Should I be asking them, should I be standing outside the Thomas Cook, if there was Thomas Cook, with my flights? Should I be looking at a certain age group? What are these age group doing? Do they go and do dominoes or are they at bingo? Is the bingo hall, let me tell you something, the bingo hall's gonna have loads of people in there that are downsizing that have great equity in their house that would prefer a cash buyer to come and buy it without no issues than having, Mr. Singh, everybody marching through their house, going, oh, we don't like this, or the wallpaper's all over. Certain people after a certain age, they don't want to deal with it. Should you be at the bingo hall? Do you understand? You've got to think of it on this level. All right, but first and foremost, positioning. Very cheaply, you can get positioned so that when somebody does say something to you, you can say something professional to them, like, "Go and check out this website. I know somebody they helped, or I came across them. They looked really good." And they're going to go to the website, complete the lead. The lead's going to send them an automatic email confirmation. Sorry. They're going to feel comfortable when you phone them back. You say, "Hi, this is Noel. I'm calling you back from thing." And they say, "Okay, yes, yes." And they're going to be so happy that you called them back. They're going to explain the situation, and then you are generating your products, leads. And from the time you have that lead, and you can secure that lead, that one person you spoke to is going to be worth thousands of pounds. And you didn't buy it for yourself. You didn't have the money to buy the property yourself. You just generated the lead for an investor. All right? And like I said to you, the perfect storm is the fact that, unfortunately, guys, a lot of people are going to start going through some hardship, and they're going to be in a position whereby they're going to be willing to sell their properties. On the flip side, there is another issue with it, is the fact that you're going to be having to negotiate better and better deals because investors are also may be a bit hesitant about investing in a time when interest rates are constantly getting higher and higher and higher. But believe me, guys, you have the product, there will be somebody who's willing to buy the product. I will. Me and my network will. The right deal, we'll take it. And if it's the wrong deal, no problem. If it's the wrong deal, you put it out there, you put it out to another network, and you might have to come back and renegotiate deals. You may have to, and that's why you make sure that you go in initially at the lowest possible price to give yourself some leeway. All right. Any questions? Any more questions? Guys, absolutely fantastic. Thank you for being here. This is an initial session. I just want to have a conversation with people, see the interest. This session is really for Sister and some of her team that she wanted to bring in, and I said no problem. But I know somebody on this call is thinking to themselves, you know what? This might be an avenue, because I'm saying to you guys, there's many ways, and you're going to find that just by having the right positioning, being set up, being know how to market and present yourself to motivated sellers, how many opportunities are gonna come to you, because you're gonna then talk to someone like myself, and all of a sudden now, Marcia's constantly calling me saying, I've got a lead for you, and I say, is it really? Send me the postcode. Okay, no problem. Well, I think it's worth this. What do they want for it? She said, well, they want 150. So 150. All right, no problem. Give me a second. I want to phone Marcia back. All of a sudden, Marcia's opening up her network, not only to myself, but to other investors. And when she does her first deal and she gets her commissions that she can get on exchange, she doesn't even have to get the money on completion. She's going to realize that this works. And she's going to realize she's going to have some money that she can actually invest into marketing, whether that's Google, Facebook, Insta, to have a scalable business model. Because she's going to know that putting up flyers here or doing this or doing that works. Why? Because she's going to ask every single person she calls, she's going to ask them, how did you get our contact details? Let me show you, I give you the last gem. The last gem is you tell that person on the phone and in your marketing that you will pay them £500 or £250 for every single person that they recommend to your service. Ooh. Because what happens then is that they see your marketing material and they go, I don't need to sell. Oh, but Dave needs to sell. And these guys said they're going to give me 500 quid. They're more inclined to say, Dave, have you had a read of this? And Dave's going to say, no, I ain't seen that before. And because he wants his 500 quid. Lead generation techniques. Are we good? Have we got some value today? Have we got some value? We've got some value. Emily's asking, where can she find the paperwork for the vendor to sign? This will probably be in another session, and this will be something that we put together, and you may not have to do that. All right, I don't want to corner you. Of course, you can do that, but that paperwork has IP. It's a case of making sure that you don't have to be the person to do that. We can supply you with the paperwork, and you can get it signed on their behalf, or you can always partner with somebody else who have the infrastructure in regards to paperwork in place. When you have paperwork in place, there's many different ways you can secure the deals. But this is a separate session. There's many different ways you can secure a deal. You can secure it via legally binding paperwork. There's option agreements. There's legal undertakings. There's all different things you can go about doing. And sometimes you don't even have to do that. You can secure the deal just by, having your own agreement that's signed up. You can do. There's many different ways you can go about doing it. So Emily, it's not clear. It's not straightforward. But obviously, if you're coming through myself, if you contacted myself, the paperwork is there. We can get things signed up. No problem. I have paperwork. I'm not going to send my paperwork out to everybody, but I can assist. All right. I'm just reading the chats. Any other questions? Any other questions about anything? Well, guys, I'm going to call it quits there. I'm going to play some of my little motivational amapiano on the way out. But we're going to do some more of these sessions. The next one we're going to do is going to be an actual session whereby, we will have some links to some PDFs and some other stuff that people to understand, to be able to see these things in the flesh. But today, we just wanted to let people understand the possibilities of just being able to do marketing and position yourself that you could make tens of thousands of pounds from doing one transaction. And more importantly, because of this perfect storm that's happening, you might all of a sudden find that you are generating a lot more leads because of this pinch, this squeeze on the cost of living. All right, and people deciding, you know what? Let's move back to the country, man. Let's sell the place in Peckham. Let's move back to the country. Let's sell the place in Hackney. We've got good equity on it. I just want to go. You know what I mean? I just want to go. Sandra, I just want to go. I ain't got time to do all the viewings and all that stuff. Just want to go. And then they're going to get your paperwork and go, you know what? I don't mind taking a slight discount if I can just get out of it right now. I'm fed up. I'm telling you, an opportunity is right. I know that all of the people that are lead generators, they're going to be doubling down on efforts when times get tough. Always happens. I've seen it happen in the past. People start throwing extra money at the market because they know now people need the service. Any other questions? If not, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you very much for your time. Remember, for those of you who are not part of the Unity family, we do a breakfast club every single morning where we do motivational stuff. We talk about motivation and we trade the financial markets. Yeah, everybody here can get a complimentary entry to our breakfast club for a couple sessions. And after that, you can join the family. But we have an amazing, amazing time every day learning how to trade the financial markets. And this is another string to empowering yourself and having multiple revenue streams. Like I said to you guys, if you did a handful of deals in a 365-day period, but they generated you 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand, would that be worth it? I think it would be worth it. If you're going hell for leather, guys, you could be doing that every single month. But let's imagine you didn't. You just put out a couple little posts, couple little blogs, and you was well positioned. Then every so often that one phone rang and you was like, hello? And they said, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And you was able to secure a deal. Would it be worth it? Would this call be worth it? Would it be worth you talking, going to Fiverr, setting up, understanding the business model, having a relationship with some investors? I think so, guys. Yeah, guys, good evening and have a lovely, lovely night. We did run over a little bit, but we started by about 9. But guys, have a lovely, lovely time. Have a great rest of your evening. Thank you for being here. And I hope you got some value. Guys, pop a number 1 in the chat. I hate all that stuff, but instead of unmuting everybody, pop a number 1 in the chat or unmute yourself and just give some love. If you got a little bit of value. There was one thing I said to you today that you might think to yourself, you know what? That might be an idea. Pop a number 1 in the chat box or just unmute yourself and let me know that there's some value just so I can keep doing these sessions. This is the first one. I was supposed to do it live as well on Insta. I might do some more ones on Insta and some more things. But at the moment, we ain't doing that many events at the moment. But we soon will be scaling up and doing a lot more events. But I'm glad to see some people got some information from it. Guys, it's so easy, guys. And it's just another thing to set up as another revenue stream. If you do one deal, amazing. If you don't do any deals, you'll learn from it. Okay? But guys, fantastic. Let me play out my motivational house, as we call it. All right? And I wish you guys have a lovely, lovely evening.
Thank you, JP.
You're welcome.
Love and gratitude.
Catch you out.
Thanks a lot. Brilliant.
Favorable attention of those who can and will provide you with opportunities. Returns through which the service you render will bring back greater than average compensation. And 3, following this habit will make you indispensable in your chosen occupation or calling. Therefore, it will place you in a position to write your own ticket. And 4, this habit will help you to excel in your line of work because each time you render service, you endeavor to do a better job.